everybody, welcome to Uncle Dave's Brigade. If you're new here, the way I do things is I don't stop the video. I let it play all the way through so you get the feel for the whole song. And for those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, hit like, subscribe, post notification bell, join the brigade. And I do trivia and background stories and that kind of thing for music from the past. And mostly classic rock, but today I got one that goes way back. And I've got the Marcels from 1961 doing Blue Moon. And we have a Blue Moon going on right now as I'm recording this. And it's a rare event, but it does happen occasionally. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to give a story about the background of this song afterwards. So stick around and hear the background story. It's kind of interesting. So let's get to the music. And let's go to it. Let's go. I kind of dance like her.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really would care for. And then they suddenly
styles.
I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I look, the moon is dead to gone. Oh, blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Dang, 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 ding it on, ding, blue. Dang, 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 ding it on, ding, blue. Dang, 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 ding, dong, ding. Blue moon.
What do I do? That's good. Do you remember trying to memorize that in order? That bebop? I couldn't. But anyway, this song has its origins back in 1933 when Richard Rodgers, the composer, and Lawrence Hart wrote this for a movie called Hollywood Party, but it was cut from the movie. Now, it was written as a torch song, a very slow, melodic, beautiful torch song, which Mel Torme did later. In fact, he did it in 1948. And it was in the movie Words and Music, and it's been in about 5 or 6 other movies other than that one. And excuse me, I have a frog in my throat today. Sorry about that. It had been done by many artists. It's too many to mention right here, quite frankly. Elvis did it in 1954 and made it famous again after Mel Torme made it really famous back in 1948. And he did it the traditional way, which was, of course, the slow torch type song. And Bobby Vincent, Sam Cooke, the Marcels, of course, who we just listened to, they all did it in different styles, 3 different styles. And it was all 3 of those different styles was featured in the movie Werewolves of London. If you remember, American Werewolf in London. Back in 1981, if you remember that movie, it was featured, and all 3 of them were featured in there in some part of the movie, which is kind of unusual to have the same song featured in 3 different types of music. Stu Phillips was the producer, And he was ordered by his boss not to mess with the Marcels. The boss didn't think they had much talent, and he said, "Don't waste your days on this." But Stu said he didn't say anything about my nights. So he one night snuck them into the studio when nobody was around, and they recorded an album. And they had all the songs put up for the album, and they had recorded them. And they needed one more. And one of the members said, "Hey, I know this song called Blue Moon." And he said, "But let's do something different with it." And it was the version that Mel Torme had made famous. He said, "Let's make it a bebop." And so he taught, the other members did not know the song. He taught them the song that night. And they learned it, and they did that song without having any practice or anything in 2 takes. And they were done. That's all the time they had. That's all the time they had allotted, because he had to get them out of the studio before anybody found out that he was working with them. Well, Stu, the producer, worked on the album, got it all put together, and then he got it produced secretly, and then got it out to the studios. Back in those days, you got it directly out to the DJs. And a very famous DJ at the time, his name was Murray the K. And I forget what radio station he was on, but it was a huge, I think he was in New York, but he was a huge radio DJ, and he got a lot of attention. He played it in one show 26 times. Well, when you play something 26 times, you get a lot of attention. It grew and grew and grew, and it became a #1 hit. And here, the boss, he didn't even want to mess with the Marcels because he didn't think it. Marcels went on to have a whole string of hits, and they did fairly well. I mean, they never really made the, I'd say, top 10 very often, but they did have a string of hits afterwards that did pretty good. So that's the backstory for this song. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit like, subscribe. I really need some suggestions down below. Where do you want me to go to? Where do you want me to play? And I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the channel and the background and the trivia. See you next time. Be nice to each other out there, and be nice to yourself. Okay?